today, I am Deborah Ziska, of course. I'm chair of ICOM Comms. We are the International Committee for Communications, Marketing, and Audience Engagement. And we're going to take a look back today, but we're also doing this in order to embrace the future with our new board that we'll be announcing at the end of this program. We created a vision in 2004. You can find it on our website, ICOM Comms. And this is shaping what we do in terms of our strategy and our action and all of our plans. We've got a good start on that, and the next board will take it to the next level. We want to be a global voice and a networking hub for museum professionals in communications, community engagement, fundraising, and marketing, in which members can see themselves represented from wherever they're from, around the world, but also in the jobs that they do. And become engaged in collaborative programming relevant to their professions, institutions, and communities. So we've had a lot of workshops, conferences, and publications over the past 3 years. We've been around the world. We started out in Latin America, Mexico City in 2023, and Hernandarias, Paraguay. In Europe in 2024, Genoa, Croatia, Georgia, and Italy. And that was a collaboration with ICOM Africa. Asia Pacific, we had some trainers in Jakarta, Indonesia in 2024, and now we are in the Arab region. So we've been covering a lot of ground. In Mexico City, we started out with a training with ICOM Paris. It was a week-long, very intensive training. One of our board members, Luis Marcelo Mendez, you can see in the corner here, was a co-leader and co-trainer and developed a very wonderful, very intensive week-long workshop with some 30 participants from 12 countries, mostly from Mexico, but from all over Latin America and the Caribbean. And this involved a great degree of discussion, participation, visiting museums, doing evaluations, doing presentations. And even today, I think they still have a WhatsApp. They still keep in contact with each other, and a lot of them are still active in a lot of our programs. During that week, we also launched a glossario of museum marketing. And you can find that on a website. If you go, you can find that at Museos, what is it, Museos, glossariomarketingmuseos.com. So there's an English version and a Spanish version, and we hope the next board might take that to the next level as well with their colleagues in Latin America. So onward to Paraguay, where we partnered with Intercom, ICMA, which is Archaeology and History, and ICTOP, which is the training of personnel. We were hosted by ICOM Paraguay, and Itaipu, which is a museum, which is the Museum of the Guarani Indigenous Peoples, where in their region there is this huge, one of the world's largest hydroelectric dams that provides sustainable energy to a large part of the region across Brazil and Paraguay. And they hosted us for a wonderful conference. And it was on the topic, James is not here, but the topic of leadership in climate action. We did a workshop in crisis communications, and we have a publication, thanks to ICOM Paraguay, of the presentations in Spanish and English, and you can find that on our website. Onward to, we had workshops that were funded by SAREC grants from ICOM. And Anna, if you would like to say a few words about that? Or we're going to talk about the panels, okay. So maybe I'll try to do this justice, because so out of that Mexico experience, Luis Marcelo Mendez in the middle there, created a 2-day workshop that was hosted by Museo del Mare in Genoa, Italy, in 2024, and it was 5 days condensed into 2 days, so even more intense, but it also involved museum visitations, a lot of very intense discussion and workshops. And everything in a museum communicates. We also did the same workshop in Tbilisi, Georgia. And again, and this one was with Nadia Kolizari. Thank you. Again, the same kind of workshop, but of course, slightly different issues. And it was everything was localized, and Mexico City was localized, and here it was localized as well. So in Tbilisi, Georgia, we also had a workshop in late November around Thanksgiving with ICOM Europe and a lot of partners, ICOM Georgia, ICOM Austria, Blue Shield, and we did a workshop on heritage resilience, safeguarding cultural legacy in crisis zones. Could somebody bring me my water bottle, water glass? Thank you. So I was there for a workshop, a very practical workshop, but a number of us were doing training. I invited 2 colleagues from Ukraine on the front lines in Ukraine to do a remote presentation, which was really appreciated by our Georgians because, who knows, Georgia has been through this. Ukraine and Georgia have a lot in common and a lot to talk about. And Ukraine is in the middle of it now, and they are literally building a starship as it's in flight. So after the workshop, and this is a shot from my hotel room window, and before our conference, which was the following week, there were massive demonstrations going on because Georgia would like to be part of the European Union, and they want to assert their rights. There had been a change in government, and we're very concerned about the Russification of Georgia, which has been going on for some time. You lost a good part of your territory in 2008, and so since then, that was in late November, and the demonstrations, the protests have been going on daily ever since then, nonstop. Over 300 some days. Since November 28th, it'll be 1 year of every night mass protests. And this is the Georgian Museum of Fine Arts, where we had our meetings. And right across the street was the Parliament building. So those mass protests were happening. As we were leaving our programs at 5 o'clock, those protests were getting underway right in front of our building. So this was we couldn't have anticipated a better location, you might say, unfortunately, for our theme of museum communications at a crossroads, empowering our communities in times of change and crisis. So we had the 2-day workshop, followed up with the conference. There was a lot of news reports all over the world about all these mass protests, and the police action was pretty brutal. It started out pretty brutal right away. And that's what people were seeing on television. So I was getting a lot of emails, we were getting messages. People said, is the conference canceled? And we decided as a board, now we're going to continue with the conference. I had been there a week, and the Georgians were taking very good care of us. So we had about 140 or so registered, but half of them came, 77 from all over Europe, from all over the world. So I think the same thing happened in our workshop. About half of the registered people came. So people did show up. And they were glad they did. It was an experience where they were on the ground, with more understanding of the situation that they wouldn't have known about otherwise. And then we had some collaborations with Intercom in Croatia and Indonesia in capacity building and branding at these leadership workshops. And I want to thank James Heaton and Cecilia Martin, who did the trainings. They got very good reception. And I think there's a lot more work we can do. This is one activity we did do in Asia, and we could do a lot more. There's a lot of potential for collaboration there. And then there was a conference, Heritage Museums Collections, on decolonization in Rome, Italy. We had a SAREC grant that we cooperated with at ICOM Europe and Carolyn. Would you like to come to the podium and tell us a little bit about your experience? Oh, come back to the... And come to the mic. No, we need to come to the mic because we're on YouTube.
For the online team?
Yes.
Okay. Speaking in Rome, Italy was very interesting because we were talking about decolonizing museums. And one of the key aspects of decolonizing museums is decolonizing our minds. When we are talking about museums, as James has rightly put it, and Her Highness yesterday talked about diplomacy, it's all about the intention of our mandate. And we need to be very clear that decolonizing isn't about relinquishing ownership. It's about making sure the right story is told by the right person. So that was my takeout from Italy, and I can't tell you how coming to the AGM has cemented some of my thoughts about decolonizing museums. It's not about a good to do, it's a we need to do. And it's the right time to progress this story. And it's not about hiding behind what someone kept telling me. It's the law, we can't give you these artifacts. So we need to change quite a bit. And I'm glad I was listening to diplomacy because I'm not a diplomat. So Her Highness was quite good in teaching me a few things yesterday. And like everything has been said, we are here to experience and to be immersed in our natural heritage. But when it comes to cultural heritage, it needs to be immersion. So decolonizing is also about immersion, and it can't be behind a glass case. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Carolyn. And let me go back a couple slides, actually, because I forgot something very important. So Nadia Kulizari from Georgia, our board member from Georgia, we have a very special announcement this morning. The last time ICOM NPR did a publication was in 2014 in Taiwan, and it was about branding. And so 11 years later, thanks to Nadia and thanks to ICOM Georgia and our partners, we have a publication. Nadia, come to the podium.
Thank you, Deborah, and thank you for representing Georgia and Ukraine this well, and for all the words you said, because it's very important for us that global community knew about the fight we are fighting now. And I'm very happy and grateful to our hosts in Dubai. Thank you very much for that too. And I will not take much of your time. I just want to say that even though we were living very difficult times in Georgia, we were very, very happy to still manage and host the conference, and grateful to the speakers who came to Georgia, and most of them are here, and they are now our friends, dearest friends. And the conference appeared to be such a success that we could not let it go without the publication. So I used all my knowledge and experience as the previous editor-in-chief of the National Geographic magazine, Georgian edition, and with this amazing team, which is Anna D'Antoni and Caroline Martinez, the board members of ICOM, and of course Deborah in the editorial board, we created this publication, which is of course online. We have there uploaded the spreads and pages. You can download it as you wish. And if anyone would like to have the printed version, upon request, the printing file will be provided to the presenters and whoever would like. And thank you so much. And I'm really grateful to be here. And thank you, Deborah. I think it's enough about publication. And let's enjoy the rest of the program and our day. Thank you.
I can't say enough what the experience of having been there at such an emotional time. Our hosts, ICOM, Nadia and her fellow colleagues in Georgia, they were protesting at night, and by day they were hosting us at a conference. They didn't get any sleep, but they were just so warm and hospitable at a very, very difficult time, and we wish you the best. We're with you in spirit. So we've given out travel grants in 2023 in Paraguay, to Mexico, to Alessandra in Burkina Faso, Andrea Lombardi from Brazil, and Nicolas Inostroza from Chile. In Georgia, we had 3 grants from our colleagues in Ukraine. Mohammed and Hekmat and Nilufar, one of our board members from Iran, and Maria Brites Rodriguez from Paraguay, and Jessica Rivera from Mexico. So it's just one of the best things I think international committees can do is give out travel grants and provide these experiences to our middle, but also the young and emerging professionals. Webinars, we've been doing webinars every year. In 2023, we continued our manifesto series that we started in Prague with Cecilia Martin and Lucimara Letelier. And we had a series of three webinars. In 2024, we did another set of 3 webinars, and we tackled the topic of artificial intelligence because, as you know, it's entering every part of our life, every single part of our life, and museums need to get on the bus. So we talked about the foundations of artificial intelligence for museum communicators, practical tools for museum communicators, and ethical considerations for museum communicators. And this year, we joined with Avicom, our partners in this joint program today. And we had I think it was an hour and a half, Michael, I think. It was a very participatory webinar on navigating current challenges in museum and social media, power, politics, and social media posts. Social media. So Laura Corona is she here? And Laura's here, I think, right. There you are. There's a star. She should have a talk show. She was so good. So she moderated the program with help from Sergio Rivera from Mexico. And you can see Esh Cherfi Damali, Diego Belacqua, and Daniel Pett, Saskia Randell. And these are some of the participants that day. We took a screenshot. But go on our YouTube channel, and you'll find all these webinars, especially this one. It's very good. So we're communicators. Right now we're communicating across our website, e-newsletter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, WhatsApp, email. What's next? And that's for the next board to figure out. This is our website. The websites are always a work in progress, aren't they, for ICOM, international committees. But this is supposedly, a website is where it should be your home base. That's where you find all the links to all the things you're doing, what you're about, what you're doing, where you've been, where you're going, your archives. That's the starting point for your connections. So Facebook, in 2025, we have probably close to 4,000 followers now. We did 225 posts this past year. The most popular post was Meet the Candidates. It had over 9,000 views, over 5,000 impressions, and nearly 200 comments. So that was our most popular post. Instagram, nearly 2,000 followers. We started Instagram right after Prague, the triennial, the last one we had. And we have nearly 2,000 followers, 120 posts. And the ones that you see here are the ones that have the top views, which is kind of interesting because it has to do with our webinars, being at Terra, being in Dubai, our sessions here. So. And one of our candidates also, our election. So these are, I think, one easy conclusion you can draw from this is people like pictures of their colleagues and activities you can join in. Yes, I know. And then YouTube, we have 18 new videos we put up this year with over 1,000 views. And our top winners for views are the 2 workshop videos from Genoa and Tbilisi. And Professor David Lord Kipanadze, who is the director of the Georgian National Museum, which is actually a group of museums, kind of Georgia's version of the Smithsonian, I like to call it. And I commend you to go watch the videos, but also to hear Dr. Lord Kipanadze's talk. Very innovative, brilliant leader in Georgia and Georgian museums. He's always thinking about things. So let's go back. So I'd like to call Nilufar to the podium. We can go back. Here we go. Because Nilufar has started taking over on social media this past year. Come on to the podium. And she has breathed new life into our social media. So.
Hello, everyone. I'm so glad to to re-see your faces, whether through, the screen or in person, because I have been trying to be connected with whether with our members or anyone who ever interested in ICOMCOM's activities. So thank you, Deborah, for the wonderful report of the social media. As Deborah very well mentioned, I think one of the best approach that we can take in order to, go with our social media strategy is that let our colleagues to be seen and valued. And through that, I am happy to share that this year, I think it was very first time of the COMS, or used to be NPR, to have 26 candidates from 21 countries. And I think it is kind of an accomplishment through the social media strategy that we try to take. Thank you for your time, and I hope those who has been more involved will be helping us to join to be joined by other members or any other colleagues. Have a good day.
And also, if any of our members like to do social media, I think Nilüfer would like to form a team of people working in social media, because we have 4 platforms, and maybe more coming next year. So we need more than one person to do that. Membership. Okay, so since 2023, where we had nearly 700 individuals, today we have nearly 1,400 institutional and individual members. So I consider that an accomplishment for our board. Let's keep going. And where are they from? They're from Africa. We've gone from 16 to 33 members. Asia Pacific, 51 to 118 members. Arab states, 5 to 15 members. In Europe, 628 to 905. Latin America, Caribbean, 47 to 67. North America, 10 to 23. So there's some natural areas we can work in there, right? So I think that's, we can become more active, obviously, in Africa, Asia Pacific, everywhere but Europe, quite frankly. So a lot of work to do, and I think there's some interesting strategies we can employ that other committees have adopted over the years. We can learn a lot from them. So name change. A lot of ICs, AVICOM didn't do this, but a lot of international committees. The last time we did a big branding change was in Milan, remember? We got the new logo. And that was the last big kind of branding effort that we did. It was mostly about the logo and the look. But every so often at a conference, I think somebody would say, I hate NPR. What does it stand for? What does it mean? What does NPR mean? It doesn't mean anything. So, and they were getting the same kind of comments in Paris about a lot of our international committees, because it doesn't really translate very well. So ICOM Paris, ICOM Secretariat, we all joined together, all the ICs were invited to think of a new name that had more meaning for the work that we did and for our audiences and for our members. And so we did 2 rounds of surveys with our members. And on the second round, we had a short list, and we had champions for each of those potential titles. For ICOM COM, C-O-M, we had Peter Stoller from Switzerland. Luis Wallace Rivera from Spain wanted to keep NPR. He was a traditional guy. He wanted to keep that. He thought it was fine. Diana Megan from Germany wanted ICOM Public. Renata Beltrão from Brazil liked ICOM People. And our own Nadia Kawazari, she liked COMS, which made a lot of sense. And so these were the final contestants. And of course, the winner was ICOM COMS, and I think it was actually quite brilliant, Nadia, because when you think about it, many of the other sectors have already adopted COMS, and it's something that communicates in a lot of different languages. So if you go on so in social media, each of these champions gave us their reasons why they thought this should be the new name of our committee. So once again, I think, bravo. So, that was brilliant. And it's been working really well. I think we're having a lot of fun with it. So that is our new name. We are now the International Committee for Communications, Marketing, and Audience Engagement. Now, Anna, this is our board membership, but I'd like Anna D'Antoni to come to the podium just for a minute to talk about this past week. So this is the last you'll see of this group together as a board. That's me, there's Nilufar, Carolyn Mwenda, Vinod, our treasurer, who you'll see shortly, Anna D'Antoni, who you'll see right now, Nadia. Luis Marcelo Mendez is in Brazil. Hopefully he's watching us right now. And Caroline Mertens from Belgium. But Anna, would you like, so we've had a great time with our sessions this week, and Anna has been the coordinator of the sessions along with support from our whole board.
Yes, thank you, Deborah. Well, good morning. Yes, I had the privilege to coordinate the COM session of this incredible conference. We had 3 sessions, but across all the 3 sessions, one idea became very clear. Museums today are becoming place of dialogue, participation, and ethical innovation. Or, if you want to use other words, more humans, more digital, and more collaborative. In the Heritage session, we saw how digital storytelling can protect living traditions and difficult histories. If it gives space to voice and memory that are often overlooked, and it does it with respect, authenticity, and sensibility. In the other session, the youth power, young people show us that they are not treated as visitors, but as co-creators. They shaped narratives, led accessibility initiatives, and challenged museums to become more inclusive and more open to new perspectives. Then, in the new technology session, we explore how AV, VR, and IE can create new ways to engage audiences. These tools are powerful, but they only work if they are responsible, transparent, and rooted in community needs. Technology has to support the mission, not replace the mission of a museum. When we look at all these contributions that we heard in the last 2 days, together we see a shared direction for the future. Museums can remain relevant and resilient when they listen to communities, when they share authority, and when they use technology thoughtfully and ethically. In a rapidly changing world, the museum that emerged from this paper and from our speaker is one that is human-centered, digitally fluent, and truly collaborative. Thank you.
So I thought, wouldn't it be cool if I could get ahead of everybody that's participating in the program, but I realized that was maybe AI could have helped me, but I don't know how to use AI very well for that purpose. So I just tried to squeeze a lot of our activities, a lot of our group shots into one shot. So it's been a fantastic 3 years of really engaging with our membership, growing our membership throughout the world. And thank you. So I think we probably do have time for if anybody has any questions about our activities or what we're looking forward to right now. Any questions? No? Okay, then we'll continue. So I'd like to bring Vinod Harikumar to the podium, our treasurer, and he's going to give us a financial report. You should be able to just forward.
Thank you. Good morning. Slept already? Oh, thank you. So I am, myself, I'm Vinod Hari. I am the treasurer for COMS. After the cinematic presentation of Deborah and James. I'm kind of here to present the most boring presentation that you might see as the financial report. So we'll just quickly jump into it. I know I won't keep you long. It'll be very short, trust me. And yeah, it's something nobody wants to hear about, but I think it's something that everyone wants to know about. So let's quickly go through our financial overview for Jan to November this year, and our expense summary and the forward outlook, like what we have left for the next board to begin with. So the opening balance that we had as of Jan 2025 was around 26,473 euros and 50 pence. And as of 4th of November, it is at 16,980 euros. So we had almost around 10,000 euros worth of transactions that happened in this year. And our annual subsidy that we received from France was around 5,713 euros and 29 pence. There was a deduction, so that was closely around 2,400 euros, if I'm not wrong. So the total subsidy that we received was somewhere around 7,300, out of which we received in our account around 5,700 after deduction from the events last year. So the expense summary. So ideally, our budgets go into these categories. So in case you're wondering how much we receive, where we spend it, the categories are mostly conference support and honorariums. We have member participation support, creative and editorial support, admin and banking fees, and software and tools, which are like monthly or yearly subscriptions that we use for our events and activities. So these are around the approximate value. The first key item that we had, which is the 11,000 euros that you see, it was from last year, the conferences that Deborah just mentioned about. So all the transactions, the major transactions happened in Jan, because there was a slight delay in terms of the banking rules and the vacations. Hopefully it shouldn't happen this year. So this is how it goes in most of the expenses. And, oh, am I going back? Sorry. Forward outlook, so a total summary and forward outlook. So where we are right now. So this was updated on the 4th of November as we had to wind up our presentations. At this point, we are very close to 12,478 euros in our accounts, unless a software has deducted some amount. But otherwise, we have what we have, like 12,478, and maybe a couple more euros in terms of what we have done during the Dubai visit. But other than that, we are in a safe zone. The ideal zone is anywhere between 1,000 and 10,000 euros as a balance at the end of the year. And we are very much in a very safe zone, I would say. Thanks to everyone for patient listening. Can I have a raise of hands of who is not sleeping? Wow. Okay. Thanks a lot. So with that, if at all, do you have any questions? Deborah, we have some time, right? In case you have any questions, I try to share the answer. Okay. Thank you.
Vinod really came to our rescue. Unfortunately, we lost our treasurer secretary a year before, and it seems like the chair and the treasurer jobs are the jobs that not too many people want, for some reason. I don't know why. But he's done a fantastic job. Thank you so much, Vinod, for a very good report. Of course, we're both available to answer any questions you have about finance at any time. But we have left a nice, healthy budget for the next board to have a lot of activities. And so, of course, These are from earlier. So now, the moment you've been waiting, some of you have been waiting for. So, and some of you already know the results. So these are the current board members, and we just had an election. It just finished on the 12th. And so I'm very happy to report. So we had, anyway, let's talk about the engagement first. Normally we don't think of elections, but elections are a fantastic way for people to engage. And I think there's a lot of, we built on this. We had a special election last year, which really increased the global diversity on our board. And so we had more people, we had more spokespeople reaching out around the world. And we breathed new life into our social media, as Nilüfer mentioned. So, as I said, we only had one candidate for chair, Luis Marcelo Mendez. Obviously, he's going to be the chair next year. Congratulations, Luis, wherever you are. Luis has been doing our website. He is our Grand Master in terms of workshops and training, and so he's ready and willing and able to do this next year. We had two candidates for vice chair, Nilüfer, who you've met already, from Iran, and Jessica Ramirez Rivera from ICOM Mexico, who was with us in Georgia as one of our travel grantees. We had two candidates for secretary, Barbara Aguiar from ICOM Brazil and Carolyn Mwenda from ICOM Kenya. And then for treasurer, Caroline Mertens, ICOM Belgium, one of our new board members from last year. And since you were the only candidate, congratulations. VNOD has a lot to fill you in on, as do I. But we had 20 candidates from Egypt, Lithuania, Denmark, Pakistan, Italy, Switzerland, India, Nepal, Brazil, UAE, Netherlands, Malta, Zambia, Finland, Burkina Faso, Egypt, Philippines, Mexico, United States, and Chile. And this is true engagement because you're putting skin in the game. You're putting your reputation on the line, right? You're saying, I can do this. And so we asked every single member, not just for their bio, but for a statement. How do they see, what is their vision for ICOM Comms? What can they do that's so special? And then we promoted that all over social media. You did a great job on that, Nilüfer, a very nice campaign. So here are the results of the election. Oh dear, okay. There we go. Our new chair, Luis Marcelo Mendez from Brazil. Congratulations, Luis. Vice Chair Nilüfer is continuing. So Nilüfer has been my vice chair this past year, and she's been a godsend. And so I know she'll do the same great job for our committee next year. Thank you, Nilüfer. Secretary Carolyn Mwenda is back for a return visit. Thank you, Carolyn. Carolyn is a whiz. She's dealing with what we call the IRIS database. Something we hate in ICOM. But they've told us how we're going to automate, and we're going to have now all these, like, everything's going to go digital. So we can't wait for that, can we, Carolyn? We're looking forward to that. IRIS, you have to learn you have to love IRIS to use it. So, but Carolyn has figured out how to do it. And the treasurer, Carolyn, of course, and ordinary members, Christina Chiasso from Italy. Anna, I hope she's watching. She'll know. Castor van der Kweek from the Netherlands, he was with us. He's from the Rijksmuseum. He was with us in Georgia. And that's when he got really engaged. So I'm so glad. Casper, I hope you're watching. And he works at the Rijksmuseum in Amsterdam. They do fantastic marketing there. Alessandro Drago from Burkina Faso. I think he's been at the meeting. He's not with us today, but he's been here at the conference. He was with us in Paraguay. He was one of our travel grantees. And the visa situation, the only thing that didn't go really well in Paraguay was the visas. The visas were like late. And Carolyn, you were going to be one of our presenters. But we had two members from Kenya. And I think it was how late, close to the deadline of the conflict, 2-3 weeks away, and you didn't have your visas yet from Paraguay. It came on the day up, so they didn't come, obviously. So we missed Carolyn. But Alassane from Burkina Faso, he said, I'm coming. I said, you don't have a visa yet, but I'll keep in touch with you. He had 4 layovers on the way. So every time he landed, somewhere, whether it was in London or wherever, he would text me, do I have a visa yet? I said, no, not yet. I was on the phone with Paraguay, trying to make things happen, calling anybody I knew there. He finally got the visa like within an hour before he arrived at the airport. So I'm so glad, but he never gave up, and now he's going to be on the board. So congratulations to Alassane from Burkina Faso. Bettina Parastar from Denmark, so we have some representation from Scandinavia, which I don't think we've had in a while since one of our former chairs, Tove. And Roberto Torres from Chile. So, and he was with us in Mexico and in Paraguay. So congratulations to the new board.